to record the session. I now am going to attempt to share my screen with you guys. So fingers crossed. Oh, it's looking good. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so everybody can see the screen? PowerPoint? Workbook. Excellent. So just to remind you, for ladies that have heard this before, and for our new ladies, this is your learner workbook I'm looking at. This can be given to you, sent to you online from Sabrina, and you're at your enroll at fingertips email. Okay. This book has to be fully completed and marked so that you can then move on to do a test. It is not a written test, ladies, it's an online test. So we do need to, can't hear, somebody's saying they can't hear. Can anybody else, can everybody hear? No? Yeah, okay, thank you. Bear with me, my darlings. Let's see if I can make that clear. Okay, lovely. All right, bear with me. I may have to go into taking this share off and putting it back on. We've got gremlins today, ladies. Gremlins. Okay, let me take this off. Okay. Sound? Any sound? No? I'm not muted, so you should hear. New share. Right. Can you hear me now, ladies? Yes, brilliant. Okay, so let me try again now. Okay, I'm going back to share the screen. Please give me a thumbs down if you lose my sound again. Okay, so let's go into share. Have we got sound? Can you hear me? Perfect. Okay, got rid of those gremlins. We're going to let them beat us today. So, as I was saying, the workbook will have to be sent electronically on to Sabrina at your enroll at fingertips email so that they can be marked. When they're all marked and there's no corrections, etc., you then need to make an appointment to complete your online test. Okay, so you can't just turn up for your test. Please make an appointment for your online test. So just to remind us what this lovely workbook looks like and the learning outcomes. So we're going to refer to our qualification as IP from now on, infection prevention. So it's IP. Level 2 in IP. And it's got all your learning outcomes, things that you should be learning, how to understand the transmission and the effects of COVID, understand your social responsibility for the beauty therapy and nail sector in relation to COVID, understand the controls necessary to prevent the spread of COVID, and understand the importance of personal protective equipment or PPE and hygiene to stop the spread of COVID, and understand potential hazards and risks and the workplace procedures necessary to prevent the spread of COVID in the salon and the nail bar. And outcome number 6, to understand decontamination. Now, people that were here last week are going to smile. Thank you. Understand decontamination and waste process relevant to beauty therapy and nail services. So that's just a quick reminder what the whole aim of this qualification is. So again, you will get this electronically, and each week I will be giving you page numbers and question numbers for you to complete as homework, and eventually the whole book will be covered. Okay, Is there any questions? If there is a question, would you like to put your hand up so I can unmute you? I will just check that everybody is happy with that. No questions? Everybody happy? Brilliant. Excellent. Okay. So let us move on. Oh, I just need to admit somebody in the waiting room. There we go. Let's move on to our next PowerPoint that I'm going to share. Now, remember, ladies, if you lose me, you need to put your thumbs up. Yep, so I can know what's happening here. Right. Okay. Lovely, seems to be working. Excellent. Are you seeing this, ladies? Thumbs up? Yep, and you're hearing me. Perfect. Okay, so we're looking at learning outcome number 1. And this is how infection can be spread. So an infection occurs when a pathogen is a disease-causing bacteria or virus. Okay, so if we see the word pathogenic or pathogen, it's a disease-causing bacteria or virus. Nothing, nothing, okay. Let's start again. I don't know why this is happening. Okay, are you getting me now? Yes,
I can hear you. Sorry, I'm just wondering. But we've done this already. Like I've completed, or we have to do it?
You do. It's just as revision for the ladies that have already done it. But there are some ladies that haven't done it, so it's
so we're just going through it. Yeah.
So we're just going through again. So this is that's a very good question. It's a very good time for you to be able to say, I've done this, but is this correct? Yes. Or have I got the correct outcome for that? So it's very good for us all.
Thank you.
Okay, but were we sharing? Did we see a screen? Me talking?
Yes.
Perfect. Right, I'm going to just go back. Are we seeing this?
Hello?
No?
Bring me chicken after that. Mince, please.
Right, so I'm going to mute you all again. Sorry, my darling. Okay, that's fine because we've got new ladies here. And I'm now going to share my screen with you. Remember, fingers up. Sorry, thumbs up even. If you're not sharing. Are you sharing? Are you seeing the PowerPoint? Yes, perfect. Everybody, good. Okay. So how infection can be spread, as I said, it's a pathogenic disease causing or bacteria enters the body and multiplies, disrupting the normal body functions and damaging body tissue. The microorganisms, such as bacteria and viruses, require certain conditions to grow and spread, such as temperature, moisture, nutrients, and time. It can be passed on via bodily fluids, such as saliva and mucus. In the case of COVID-19, poor hand hygiene or standing too close to an infected person can provide the perfect conditions for the spread of the virus via droplets. Yeah?
Sorry, Debbie.
Yes.
Good afternoon. This is Yvonne. The slide is not actually presenting itself on the screen.
Okay, right. I need to stop share again. So let me try again. Thank you, Yvonne.
You're welcome.
Try and go back into it. Okay. Okay, are we sharing now, ladies?
No.
No, there seems to be some.
You've just got a list of the learning outcomes. Is anyone else experiencing this?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, I'm going to stop this share and we're going to start again. Okey-doke. So we've got the outcomes. You guys are getting the list of the learning outcomes. Are you getting it now? Oh, no, no. Okay. No, no. Okay. Let's do a new share. Okay. Yes, are we seeing? Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Okay, well done. Perseverance. And you're hearing me as well.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Right, so I'm just going to go over that so we can see it. So remember I said to you guys that we were speaking about the pathogenic or pathogens, which are disease-causing bacteria or viruses that will enter the body and multiply. And this will then disrupt the normal body function or even damage body tissues. Microorganisms such as bacteria and viruses require certain conditions to grow. And this could include temperature, warm temperature, moisture, nutrients, time, and as time goes by, these can be passed on via body fluids such as saliva and mucus. In the case of COVID, poor hand hygiene or standing too close to a person who's infected are the perfect conditions for this virus to spread through respiratory droplets. Yes, so when we speak, perfect conditions, loves it. So how infection can spread. Common causes of the spread of infections are, as we just said, lack of poor hand hygiene, lack of cleaning procedures, so not particularly us, but our surfaces, yes, the things around us, lack or incorrect use of PPE, and the use of contaminated equipment such as tools and linen. And when we say lack of poor hygiene, you think, I'll only wash my hands, it's only going to be on my hands. It can be on your hands and then you touch your face, you touch your nose, you touch other areas. So it's not just going to stay on your hands, as well as our coughing and sneezing. So routes of transmission can be direct or indirect. For example, direct, from a person to person through contact, or touch. Indirect, for example, in the air from contaminated objects or via the blood. Remember we said if we leave it long enough in the body, then the body fluids become a source of infection. General infection can pass into the body through the respiratory tract, so actually inhaling airborne pathogens, skin through open wounds or broken skin, digestive tract through ingestion. Ingestion means like if I had an infection, I held an apple, put it on the table and Yasmin went and ate that apple. Yes, she would ingest it. So it's through ingestion. Urinary tract or reproductive tract is a passage of bacteria into these tracts, okay? And COVID-19 through the respiratory tract, the eyes, the mouth, and the nose. These are the main areas that can actually enter the body. So we have something called a chain of infection. The chain of infection is a series of events which enable bacteria, fungi, and viruses to cause an infection in a person. So it starts off with our lovely pathogen. So a pathogen is an organism capable of causing disease in a host. Okay? So those are two definitions. These are two definitions we must remember. The chain of infection, a series of events that enables bacteria, fungi, and viruses to cause infection in a person. And the pathogen is the organism capable of causing disease in a host, to be in a host. So let's look a little bit closer at this chain infection. Infections occur when a pathogenic microorganism enters the body and increases in numbers and stays there long enough to damage body tissues. Stages of the chain of infection. First of all, it starts off with the infectious agent, the pathogen which causes the disease. So the infectious agent is the pathogen that will actually cause the disease. Then we have something called the reservoir. The reservoir is the environment where the pathogen survives, for example, people, equipment, or work surfaces. Okay, so we have the agent, infectious agent, then we have the reservoir where this pathogen can survive. Then we have the portal of exit. The way the pathogen leaves the reservoir, for example, coughing, sneezing, or remember our reservoir could be equipment, so touching, direct contact from one person to the other, touch to touch. Most of transmission or transfer is how the pathogen is passed, mode of transmission or transfer is how the pathogen is passed on. For example, direct contact, or if we inhaling. Then you've got the portal of entry. This is the way the pathogen enters a new host, for example, the respiratory tract or the mucous membrane. And then you have, last of all, suitable or susceptible host, the individual that is at risk of infection. So all these elements together make up the chain of infection, which could look like this. Okay, so it goes in a vicious circle. So we've got the infectious agent, the pathogen, the reservoir, remember that was where it was held, yes, the disease, the portal of exit, how it's going to leave the reservoir and go into our host, the mode of transmission, again, coughing, sneezing, touching, portal of entry, how it enters the host, and the susceptible host that it will actually enter into. So let's have a little look at coronavirus itself. Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that can cause illness in animals and humans. In humans, they can cause disease, which have mild effects, such as a common cold. Though to those which are severe, let me read that again, such as the common cold. Though to those which are severe or life-threatening, such as SARS, which is severe acute respiratory syndrome, or MERS, Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome. So you've got something like the common cold, okay, to something that is life-threatening, like SARS or MERS. The term corona is devised from the Latin word crown, as the virus has spike-like projections on the surface which resemble the appearance of the crown. Can you see that? Little spikes. So that's why we get the word corona, because it has crowns. SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS-CoV, first occurred in Guangdong province, China, in November 2002. It's believed to be an animal virus which then crossed species. Yeah, so it crossed over from the animals to the humans. It spread internationally and caused significant local, social, and economic disruption to international travel, and the epidemic lasted until July 2003. Sounds a bit familiar, doesn't it, guys? Yeah, so that was the first one. Then we had MERS, which was the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, or MERS, COVID. Was first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012, and 80% of human cases have been reported there. It is transmitted primarily through the dormitory camels to humans, but also from human to human. In December 2019, a new virus was detected in Wuhan, China. Novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, which causes the disease coronavirus 2019, so where we get COVID-19. This quickly spread around the world, and a global pandemic, an epidemic which occurs worldwide, was declared in March 2020 by WHO, which is the World Health Organization. Okay, so we've had COVID around for a little while in different forms. Okay, so we've had SARS, we've heard of SARS, I've heard of it, and MERS, and now we're fighting the dreaded COVID-19, and hence been put on a second lockdown. Okay, so what are the signs and symptoms of this COVID-19? The main symptoms of COVID-19 is a high temperature, a new continuous cough, and a loss or change of sense of smell or taste. These are the main ones, but there are other symptoms and signs are less common. So we have the main ones and we have less common ones. That can be sore throat and nasal congestion, headaches, conjunctivitis, skin rashes, diarrhea, and aches and pain. Yes, so some of these things we could have separately. Yes, and probably we could have 2 or 3. Say we thought we had a cold. We could have that sore throat, we could have nasal congestion, and we could have headache. We could even have aches and pains with it and some skin rashes. Yeah, so if we have more and they've missed out fatigue, they've got it here, fatigue, severe tiredness. Yes, so some people may have a few of these, they're less common, and they just thought, well, I've had a cold. So it's important that you know that you don't think, well, I didn't have a continuous cough, I didn't have a high temperature, and sorry, I'm just moving you back up to the first screen. So yeah, and I didn't lose my sense of smell, so I didn't have COVID-19. Not entirely necessarily true. So that's something that you need to be aware of. And even when you've got clients coming in telling you, they're thinking, oh my gosh, she's got at least 4 or 5 of these uncommon symptoms, you know, you need to be aware. Okay, COVID-19 is spread through close contact with an infected person. It is spread primarily from one person to another through droplets from the nose or mouth. Usually when a person coughs, sneezes, or speaks, the infected person breathes in these droplets from the infected person. So hence, we want that social distance. Yes, we don't want to be too close. The droplets can also land on objects, surfaces around the infected person, or be passed on when the infected person coughs, sneezes into their hand, and then touches an object or a surface, such as a door handle, a light switch. An intimate object contaminated with an infectious agent is known as a formite and can be porous, such as clothes or paper, or non-porous, such as metal or plastic. The infection may be passed on when the object is touched and the person then touches their own face, in particular the eyes, the nose, or the mouth. Okay? Who can spread it? Pre-symptomatic are those who have contracted the disease, but are not yet showing any symptoms. They're pre-symptomatic. Symptomatic are those exhibiting signs of the disease. So they're showing the continuous cough, the high temperature, yes, the loss of taste, smell, the diarrhea, the rash, etc. They are symptomatic. Asymptomatic, those who have contracted the disease, but who are showing no signs at all. Yes, so usually we call those carriers. So they have the disease, but they show no sign of it, but they can still pass that disease on. So that's all of us then. Pre, ones with symptoms, and asymptomatic. All of us can pass this on if we have it. Who can catch? Okay. Does the new coronavirus affect older people, or are younger people more susceptible? People of all ages can be infected by the new virus. Older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, and heart disease appear to be more vulnerable to becoming severely ill with the virus. So that is an important thing to understand. These people in that category, as we've been put as vulnerable, they doesn't mean that they won't catch the disease, but when they do catch the disease, they become severely ill. Other people may catch the disease and have very little symptoms. Okay, so who advise people of all ages to take steps to protect themselves from the virus? For example, following good hand hygiene and good respiratory hygiene as well, coughing. Yes, into tissue, moving, throwing it in the bin. COVID-19 can survive on plastic or stainless steel for up to 72 hours. On copper, less than 4 hours. On cardboard, less than 24 hours. Okay, so that's something to remind ourselves. Plastic, stainless steel, especially the door handles, are tools. It can stay there alive and still be passed on up to 72 hours. Copper's a good one. It will only live for up to 4 hours. It will be less than 4 hours. Cardboard, less than 24 hours. So we want everything made of copper, don't we, guys? Okay, so it will only be on there for roughly 4 hours. Lovely. Okay, so that is our first learning outcome that we've completed, learning outcome number 1, and we were looking at basically how COVID is spread. Is there any questions? To just answer me with a thumbs up or thumbs down on this before we move on to the second outcome. So if you're happy, thumbs up. If you need, excellent. If we need any clearing on that, please put thumbs down. Guys, thumbs up, thumbs down, please. Are we happy? Perfect. And I'm just moving on to my third block. So everybody, thumbs up, thumbs down. Are we happy? Looks like it. Lovely thumbs up. Well done. So we're now going to move on, ladies, to outcome number 6. Now, please give me the thumbs up and thumbs down if I'm not sharing with you. Yes, if you can't actually see the PowerPoint. So I'm going to stop this share. Okay, and I'm going to go back in and let's see if I can open another one. Are we seeing anything, ladies? No, not yet. So I'm going to try and share again. The screen. Let's see what this one is. Anything? Yes, let's see if this is the right one though. Yes, perfect. Okay. See that lovely big star when I get it right. I've just, somebody say something?
Yes, sorry, Debbie. That's outcome number 2.
Oh, outcome number 2.
That's
Not
what we've
6.
got at the moment, yeah.
Decontamination. I think that's the one I wanted. Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
so.
lovely. Wonderful.
Thank
done.
you.
Can I just explain to you, ladies, the reason why we're topping and tailing it? That means taking the first learning outcome and taking the last one. It's to ease for manageability, because the 2 learning outcomes to start with, number 1 and 2, are quite heavy together.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Okay.
Thank
You're welcome.
Right. So, you know why I remember that this is learning? Decontamination. So I remember it. So we're looking at decontamination of the nail bar or the beauty salon. Decontamination means the removal of pathogens and other substances from tools and surfaces. So the removal of pathogens. Remember, the pathogens are the things, the microorganisms that will carry the virus, the fungi, or the bacteria. We're going to remove them. Contamination is the process of making something impure by exposure to or addition of poisonous or polluting substances such as microorganisms. I'm going to say that again. It's the process of making something impure because it's been exposed to something poisonous, something polluting, such as a microorganism or bacteria that we don't want. Okay? Contamination. So that's the 2 definitions. So we're going to look at the decontamination of the beauty salon and the nail bar. The 3 stages of environmental decontamination is cleaning or sanitizing. This is the physical removal of foreign material, including dust, soil, and organic material such as blood, extractions, or secretions, and microorganisms. Yes, so when we clean or we're sanitizing, we want to remove all of these things above. So if you notice excretions, secretions. Excrete means to send out of the body. You can also secrete natural things from the body. It's physically removed rather than kills microorganisms with water, detergent, or mechanical actions. So we're physically killing these microorganisms, okay? Cleaning is also essential prior to disinfectant or sterilization. So if we're going to try to get rid of these, we need to clean first, yes, with water, and then we will disinfect, which is killing microorganisms, or sterilization. Disinfect, we disinfect surfaces. Sterilization is usually our tools, etc. Because when we sterilize, we totally destroy all these microorganisms. When we disinfect, it will kill most of them and it will slow the growth down of them coming back. So that's the difference between disinfecting or sanitizing and sterilization. There's 2 differences. Sterilization is total destruction of all microorganisms. The minute we take it out or we move it away from that sterilization bubble, microorganisms will start to regrowing. Yeah, so we then want to keep it in a nice sterile environment. Okay, but if we disinfect, it will get rid of some, but not all. Here we go. So disinfectant is the inactivation or killing of most of the microorganisms on the surface of items. It usually involves chemicals. It can be heat or ultraviolet light. Yes, UV cabinets, chemicals, barbicide, etc. Steaming, yes, or heating. That can do, that's disinfectant. Sterilization, a validation process used to render an object free of viable microorganisms, including virus and bacteria spores. Totally killing them. Okay? So once we've sterilized, we want to keep disinfecting as well. So types of chemicals and equipment. Types of chemicals. Chemicals are used on equipment, and the process is used to make the equipment, I wouldn't say totally free because it's a chemical. We will retard the growth, let's say. We will slow down the growth of the microorganisms, and the chemicals that we use have to be recognized, yes, by national standards in the country that we're in. And that means I can't say, let's say I went to, I don't know, Russia, let's just say, and in Russia they may have a chemical called Debicide, okay? And that chemical is recognized in Russia to be strong enough and to be recognized to disinfect surfaces. Then I come over to England and I brought my Debicide with me. Now, unfortunately, Debicide may not be recognized and up to the standards of England. Okay, so there are different standards in different areas. Of course, we're in the EU, so we follow the EU at the moment, but we need to make sure that all our chemicals meet the relevant national standards of the country that we are operating in. Management of contaminated, clean and sterile items. So these are things that I'm listing that will help with the decontamination of our salon and our nail bar. Okay, so we need to manage contaminated things and manage clean and sterile items. So do you remember where I just spoke to you and I said we could use our autoclave and we sterilize, we totally destroy all the microorganisms. I said when they actually come back and we put them into the atmosphere, the microorganisms start to grow again. Okay, so what could we do to keep them clean and sterile? We can have sterile, the little bags. I love those little bags that we have in our academy where they're sealed, you know, like the dentists. Those were perfect. I think they're lovely because that is a sterile environment and we seal them. If we haven't got those, we can use a nice, clean, sterile Tupperware box, plastic box with the lid. Put our sterile equipment in there and seal it. Okay, we need to have appropriate PPE for staff performing the cleaning. So personal protective equipment. We will talk a bit further on about personal protective equipment for when we're working on clients, but also our ladies that are cleaning or gentlemen that are cleaning need to have the appropriate PPE, especially if we're using specialized chemicals. We need to have a two-step cleaning process. Two-step, we have the two steps. Can we remember? Sanitizing, yes, disinfecting, or sanitizing, or disinfecting and sterilizing. Two-tier, two-step. Manufacturer's instructions or safety data sheets suitable for use and disposal of cleaning solutions. So again, we need to follow the manufacturer's instructions that when we have these chemicals or solutions, that we throw them away properly. We don't just tip them down the sink if we're not allowed to tip them down the sink. Yes, so we need to follow manufacturer's instructions. The use of disposable cleaning equipment, the use of reusable cleaning equipment, and cleaning schedules. Really important. It makes you, your staff, your clients comfortable when I go into, I don't know, Westfield and think, oh, this toilet is cleaned every hour or every 20 minutes or once a day. At least I know it's clean. I feel a little bit better. Your clients will feel better too. Okay, so things that we need to look at when we're managing decontamination. Yes, keeping things sterile, keeping things clean. We need to look at things single use. And we're quite good at that as beauty therapists, don't we? Because we use consumables such as couch roll. Yes, on the couch, client's been on, can throw away. But you can get things such as towels, single use. Yes, so you can get single-use towels. You can get single-use headbands, which we sometimes use, don't we? The disposable headbands. So we need to look at things that are single-use. Use, gloves on, use, in the bin. Okay? Or if they are going to be reusable, that we can decontaminate them easily. Does that make sense, ladies? Yes? So not a nice big lovely, you know, some ladies, you go into their salons and they've got these massive big cozy duvets that keep you warm. Yes, that's very good. But how are they going to decontaminate them in between each client? So about that. We need to look at our handling, our appropriate PPE, how we transport things, how we process things, our labeling, especially of our chemicals. Yes, if we can't throw that down the sink, we need to label. Our washing temperatures, especially if we have towels like what's in our little PowerPoint picture there. They need to be washed at a high temperature, how we're going to dry, and how we're going to store. Okay, there's no point me storing at the front desk where everybody's walking past and touching. Okay, not good. We need to look at things like waste management procedures. The importance of waste management. Disposal of waste materials in accordance with local and national regulations or current guidelines in the country that we're in at the moment. Waste management procedures. Types of waste, for example, non-hazardous waste or hazardous waste or sharps. Now, non-hazardous waste, if I can just remind you, is waste that can be just go in the normal rubbish in the bin. Yes, our cotton wool, our tissues, etc. We've got hazardous waste, which is waste like when we wax and it has body fluids. Okay, it becomes hazardous waste. And then we have sharps, which is if we use needles. Yes, so anything that goes into the skin, that would be our sharp. Color coding for waste in accordance with the regulations of the country. So the color coding changes from area to area. Like we have this lovely yellow sharps bin, which we tend to have. But I've been in other parts of the country and they have a green bin. They may have a blue bin. It's still a sharps bin. So it depends on your borough. That would be the most important thing, because from borough to borough, it can change. Storage, removal, and destruction of the waste. So again, that's a thing with your borough. You need to check with the borough. How do I get rid of my contaminated waste? Do you come and pick it up? Do I need to take it somewhere? How often does this done? This is done borough by borough. And the risk associated with waste management. These are things that we have to bear in mind. So when it says risks associated with waste management, it means things that, let's go on, in accordance, are not accordance with the national regulation in the company. Yes, so in other words, can I just pick up my sharp spin? I just want a thumbs up or thumbs down. Pick my sharp spin up and think, oh, the dustbin have gone, so I'll just put it across the road under the tree. Okay, that's against the law. Maybe some places you may be able to do it, but we can't do it. So these are things we need to consider. The use of lined, enclosed, foot pedal controlled waste bins. That's us, isn't it? We do that with our eyes closed, don't we? It's therapists, that's us. We do that. We don't even have to think about it. Double bag as appropriate. So sometimes, ladies, and I have seen this happen, you would be working all day and you'll fill that bag to the brim. And you say, oh, it's been in my bin and it's filled, and you just tie it. The minute somebody picks it up, it's all over the floor. So if you think to yourself, if I was the person that had to empty this, is this one bag strong enough? Would I really want to be bending all over the floor, picking up all the extractions that I've used? Yes, my client, all the hairs that I've taken out for my eyebrows. So double the bag up if it's appropriate. Okay, color coding and labeling, again, depending on the borough, definitely labeling. Color coding will depend where you are. Professional removal, destruction as appropriate. Again, that's something you need to seek with your borough. How are we going to get rid of this contaminated waste? How would you like me to do it? Will you send a van round? Will I need to take the sharps to my local hospital? And sometimes you have to actually take it to the hospital and they will get rid of it for you. Okay, ladies. 2 learning outcomes we have covered. We have done very well. As I said, it's a lovely reminder. Sometimes it's nice, it's a fresh look. So decontamination of our salons we've looked at, and I'm so proud of myself here. And also we've looked at how the spread of viruses can be passed on from one person to the other, the chain of infection. So your homework is, if you haven't already done it, this week, can we look in our workbooks from page 3 to 7, so page 3 to 7, learning outcome 1. Learning outcome 1 will look at L and it have a stroke 01. Okay, learning outcome 1, questions 1 to 13. Okay, that's the first set. The second will be learning outcome 6, LO6, page 25 to 28, questions 53 to 62. So using our PowerPoint, using what you've learned, you should be able to complete all those questions. Is there any, I'm going to unmute you guys. Is there anybody, if you could put your hands up, that has any questions?
Yeah, can you say it again, the homework, please?
Yes, my darling, of course I can. So page, just one page number 3 to 7. 3 to 7. Okay, learning outcome 1, that is.
101.
And the questions are from number 1 to 13.
1 to 30, yeah, 13.
Number 1 to
13. 13. 1, 3.
13.
Yes. And then second one is page number 25 to 28.
Yeah.
And that's learning outcome 6.
06.
And the questions are from 53 to 62.
53. 6.
2.
62.
62.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely,
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Anybody else with any questions? I'm going to, everybody's happy, yes?
Hi, sorry. What
my
about
darling.
question 56?
Question
We've been
56.
talking,
we-
initially we didn't have to do it.
Yes, we
because,
done that last week, but we will be covering it next week.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes,
Thank
you may
you.
have missed. Yes, we did do. We've done little pop quiz and we covered it all. But we will be covering next week, so no problem. Anybody else with any questions? Are we all happy? Yes. I'm just going to unmute you, Najan. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you now, darling.
Yeah, I have one question. Like, for the 54, when I do for the lookbook, I can't understand what is the AC 6.1.
Question number 54.
Yeah, right.
Let's see if I can get on. I'm going to stop the share for 1 second. Let's go into. Has anybody here done question number 54? We did cover this last week. Remember, I said to me leave those little bits out, and it was covered. Can anybody remember what we said? No. Okay. Okay. Bear with me.
Sorry, Debbie, is that the one where they just need to actually cover what's applicable to their skill?
That could be the one, Yvonne. Yes, I was just going on to it. So it's, I think we did speak about this last week, and it was actually only cover the section that is applicable to your unit or what you are actually studying. So for example, if you're studying nails, then it would be to that unit. Does that make sense, my darling?
I think she's asking about question number 54, which is environmental decontamination.
Yeah, 54.
Right.
Okay, I think I need to go on because I need to find my logbook. So let's just stop this share.
Okay, can I just mention, ladies, while Debbie's researching that one, well done for attending today. And as usual, would like to say thank you very much to Debbie for her very clear and her clarity in delivery. And please, can you be mindful that we are open, although there is a lockdown, we have been given permission by the government to open. And you need to bear this in mind, that it is mainly due to the fact that we do carry out PPE. And our knowledge and understanding of infection prevention. So I'm rather keen for you to work through your workbooks. Do submit them for marking, but you do not have to wait until they're marked. Straight as you send them in, you can book in for your test because the spaces are going to be limited. So it's a half-an-hour test. You'll come in and it's all done online. So you'll have a computer, the questions will be there, multiple choice, and you select the right answers. We've had a few people who've already completed it and they got really, really good marks and we're really proud of them. So just to repeat, you'd send in your workbook, book in for your test, and happy days.
Brilliant.
And back to Debbie.
Right, I'm just, was it number 56?
The 54.
54. Okay, bear with me.
And 56.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not getting questions.
Okay, Debbie, would you like to cover that on the next Zoom session?
I think
darling?
I will, because I'm not actually
Okay.
getting the questions coming up. I think it's actually going to be covered on the next section from what the question I'm getting. So I think it will be covered next week.
Lovely.
So that's lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done, ladies. And it's
Thank
nice to see you all in uniform. Well done. Take care and enjoy your day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.